Yo, what's going on guys, Arekkz here and welcome back to another Destiny video. And in today's video, I want to speak to you guys about this. This is a secret room located in the final boss room once you defeat the boss, and it leads to a chest which is guarded by a laser grid. Now, as it currently stands, there is no solution as to how to get to that chest. We have found a means to deactivate 4 of the 5 lasers, but at the moment, among the community, we are still stumped on the 5th and final laser. Now, of course, you can glitch your way through if you're a Titan, but glitching your way through does not allow you to open the chest, so it's ultimately a fruitless task. So the question remains, what is this room for, and ultimately, what does it lead to? So in this video, I want to speak to you guys about everything we currently know surrounding this raid mystery, and then throw in some sort of speculative ideas based on things that I think may be a possibility. So if you do enjoy this, then a like would be super appreciated. Of course, if you have any ideas yourself, then by all means post them in the comments down below, because this is definitely something that we are going to need to solve as a community. So, to begin with, as mentioned, you defeat the final boss, and if you turn around and look towards where the safety platforms are, on the right hand side, if you jump over the railings, down here, there's a platform, you walk in, and there is a tunnel that leads to this chest. Now, if you haven't activated a single monitor, then there are 5 lasers in this laser grid. There's a monitor to the right, and that deactivates the very first one. So this is a monitor that everyone who finds this room will have. However, as it currently stands, we found another 3, which means the furthest anyone's got so far is deactivating 4 of the 5 lasers. So what I'm going to do first is show you guys where to find those 3 monitors, and then we'll speak about the kind of possibilities that remain. So the first monitor you'll find, and bear in mind these are off the beaten track. They're not kind of like hidden chests where they're slightly out of the way, or dormant Siva clusters where they're in obscure locations. These monitors are very, very well hidden. The first one we found so far is in the Volsic boss encounter. In the front left safe room, if you look up, you will see a fan. You can jump through the blades and follow the corridor all the way down to the end. In fact, if you wait till the boss fight's finished, the fan just gets destroyed, so you can then just go up easily. But either way, before or after, whatever you do, you can go down there to the end of the corridor and you'll find a monitor. Now, if you listen for a second, this is the sound that monitors make. So of course, with that in mind, if you ever do happen to be walking around and you hear that sound, then definitely go looking. But if you activate it, a Siva symbol appears on the front, and in the bottom right hand corner it says 7777. Now, some people have speculated that that could well mean there are 7 monitors, but if I'm completely honest, I think that's pretty unlikely, given that if you activate the 3 monitors I'm about to show you, then it turns off 3 of the 4 lasers, and of course the final one in the room turns off the 4th one, so I think there's probably going to be either one more monitor or one more means to deactivate the laser. So with that out of the way, moving on to the second one. The second one is located after the Volsic boss encounter in the jumping puzzle. What you want to do is go straight forward as if you're following the natural route that you're supposed to follow. But then when you get to about here, you want to jump up to this platform on the right and you follow it all the way around and you get to this room where if you look up, there's a load of fans. This is of course also where you find one of the hidden chests. But if you look above you, there are loads of beams. Now, if you jump on them, it will require some decent platforming because as mentioned, these things are very, very out of the way. But if you jump up onto these beams and look to the left-hand side, there's a little path where you can sneak past. You then jump from there onto the pipes above, go left into this doorway, and then you get into this kind of dark red room, and this is where you'll find your second monitor. Now again, activate it, Siva symbol appears, 7777 in the bottom right-hand corner, and that is that one complete. As for the third one, this is found after the Siege Engine encounter. What you want to do is when you defeat it, instead of jumping off the front and running away from it as you usually would, jump off the back, let it fall off the front. And if you look over the right hand side, if you stand on one of these stone pillars so that you're safe from the tracks, if you look on the right hand side and look down towards the island where the chests are and of course where you need to progress, then you'll see on the right hand side there is a plate that kind of sticks out. If you shoot it, it breaks off and you can then jump in there, and of course if you go in, that is where you'll find the 3rd monitor. Now, with those 3 activated and the one in the final room activated, we are now down to 1 laser remaining. So, the obvious answer is that there is a monitor that has yet to be found. And if you look at the monitors that we currently know of, there's one for Volsic, one for the jumping puzzle after Volsic, one for the Siege Engine, and one for the final boss room. So by process of elimination, that means there's got to either be one at the very beginning that people have missed, or alternatively between the Siege Engine and the final boss. However, the alternative solution is that there is not another monitor. Hear me out for a second. Of course, do bear in mind, at this point in the video, everything from here on out is pure speculation. I've given you guys the facts, everything that we currently know, so everything from here on out is just ideas that we have. But it could well be that the 4th laser is deactivated by some other means. We currently have, after the Siege Engine encounter, 3 seemingly useless rooms. There is the server room, where there are a few enemies, and of course if you kill them, the lights turn on. Now in this room there are 2 more monitors, one to the left and one to the right, however you can't activate these ones, so again, they're seemingly useless. You then move on to the next room, where there's this big diamond Siva power core in the middle, with all these containers or batteries on the floor, and all these numbers around. There is a door in this room, which is lit, but you cannot open. And then after that, of course, you have the room just before you drop down into the final boss, with all these light grids. Now I spent a fair time with my raid team messing around on these light grids, trying to kind of put together different combinations. I went as far as to try and lay the Siva symbol in Photoshop over a grid to try and work out if there's a way to replicate that symbol through light patterns. There are of course loads and loads of numbers located around the raid, and at the moment, after a long time of messing around the lights, I still have yet to find out anything. So that's a bit of a dead end right now. One theory I do have, I haven't had a chance to try it just yet, I'm going to be trying it this evening when I go through the raid again with my raid team, is that there could well be a timed mechanic behind the scenes. If you guys have played through Crota's End Raid, then you may remember that after the bridge encounter, there is the room where you basically have to shoot those eyes, or the kind of purple void shooting things, I forgot the name of them, but you shoot them, they deactivate the barriers, and if you run through that section fast enough, you can jump through the door at the end before it closes, and you can then open it for your team, and in there is a chest. Of course, if you don't do it fast enough, it's closed. So, the fact that the server room has a mechanic where the light turns on. Now, I appreciate that it turns on just by killing all the ads, but in the trailer, we saw Guardians running through the server room. Now, of course, it's fair to say that's probably just for drama and to kind of make it seem exciting, but what if, for a second, there was some sort of time mechanic? What if you're supposed to, like, drop down, sprint through the server room? Because although it's not technically speaking a maze, it is possible to kind of get a little bit lost in there, so what if you're supposed to sprint through as fast as you can, get to the middle room, which seems to be useless, and maybe the door is open? Again, remember at this stage, pure speculation, but that's my thought train right now. That's the next thing I'm going to be trying. Alternatively, there is the light room. Now, at the moment, you jump on these lights, they light up. There are 8 panels in total, but of course, your fire team is comprised of 6. You can just about light them all up if you kind of jump between them, but realistically, it's 1 person per panel. And as mentioned, spent a fair bit of time here, can't seem to do anything right now. And that basically brings me to the end of where we are currently at. That is everything we have right now. That's all the kind of theories so far. That's at least what my team have been testing out. I know loads of other people on Reddit are trying to solve this. I know there's also the dedicated subreddit Raid Secrets. Everyone there is also trying to work out the light puzzle or some of the other things, or just try to find another monitor. So that's that. But the question then remains, what does it link to? Now, the most likely thing would be the exotic pulse rifle. We know that this is a genuine weapon, it's been in the trailers, and at some point it will more than likely show up. It could well be there's an item in the chest, where upon opening it, everyone gets it, and that then starts a quest, which leads to the pulse rifle. Also bear in mind that in the raid there are 3 different items you can get. There is the Volsic core, the Siege Engine Tech, and the Axis core. Now, on face value, these are, again, seemingly useless. You take them back to the Iron Temple and give them to the respective character in exchange for 3000 Glimmer. Shiro takes the Siege Engine Tech, Saladin takes the Axis core, and Tira takes the Volsic core. But it's entirely possible that they are like the Dvalin relics, where initially you hand them in and they seem to do nothing, but later on when a bigger, wider quest chain triggers, then they are in fact a key part of the quest. So again, possibility. It's also possible that there are more than one exotic weapon that remains. If you look in the record book, of course, yes, it does track 4 exotic quests: Yalahorn, Kvozdov, Thorn, and 1 more, which is probably going to be the pulse rifle. But if you then look at the Siva clusters and note that the record book tracks 15, but there are a total of 30, it goes to show that the record book doesn't always track everything. So my kind of wish and hope is that the Siege Engine Tech potentially leads to this microphone rocket launcher that I've spoken about many a time before, and that of course these cores lead to the pulse rifle. But again, we are getting into the realms of wild speculation right now. All I can say is that I'm pretty sure that chest is more than just an exotic chest. It would seem a little bit outlandish to have to deactivate 5 different lasers with obscurely placed monitors to then just get an exotic. So it's probably something like that. Or alternatively, it could actually be that it's just a mechanic that you can't do anything until hard mode. There are loads of different possibilities. I mean, it's not the first time. Take a look back to Sleeper Simulant during the Taken King. People spent ages going through the Rasputin bunker, thinking about different solutions, thinking about different kind of ideas to kind of crack the code. And after all that, it actually just ended up being a time-gated quest where later on Bungie flicked a switch, it turned on, it started, people went through, they got the gun, and job done. So this could be another time-gated thing. We could just be racking our brains for absolutely nothing. But until that happens, I am still going to keep looking. So that, my friends, is everything we currently have on the raid mystery. Again, if you guys have any ideas, by all means comment down below. If you found anything new, again, definitely comment down below. because, as mentioned, this is definitely going to be a community effort. We're going to need to work together to try and solve this, and of course, as and when we do get updates, as and when I do find out more, I will definitely keep you guys posted. But for the time being, thank you for watching, take it easy, catch you next time, peace out.